66 here, and today I will be doing the deck profile of the #1 best deck in the game, this format, all time actually, like, not even kidding. This is the best deck ever. It's so good. This deck's actually just insane, bro. I think this is actually better than my Endymion Orchid Zephyr deck a while back, and that deck literally topped the WCQ. Okay? Well, it wasn't my exact list. 3 stacks had the exact same deck idea, though. Zephyr into Guard Dragons into Orchid, and he topped the WCQ with that deck. So, speaks volumes, right? I think this deck's better. Pretty fire. No bias, because they're both my decks, right? This deck is actually so freaking ridiculous. And if you guys are wondering why I haven't uploaded in a while, it's because I've just been trying to build the best deck. And now I finally did it. I built the best deck. It's that simple. So, you see the title of the deck on Edo. It's called New Dragon Link, okay? New Dragon Link. Basically, here's the background. I'll make it short, alright? So, Triff was playing Zephyr deck, right? Someone asked him to build Zephyr, so he did it. He built this Zephyr deck. And Zephyr suck, alright? That's what you realize. So, he's like, okay, what if I just play some sort of Hulk Turbo deck, where I just do this massive Hulk combo, and then make Dragoon, because it'd be 60 cards, and that'd be nice, right? If I get hand trapped, I just sit on Dragoon, and then, oh my god, Celine revived Dragoon, let's go, best combo. This deck might actually be better than Endymion, right? He was playing this Zephyr deck, and it was just Control Pendulum, where he could not be stopped by anything, and he just outgrind every opponent he faced. That was that deck, right? Well, I was like, what if instead of playing Zephyr, let's play Dragon Link? So I was playing like Rockets and all that. Just this full Dragon Link, safer Chaos Dragon package. But the problem there was I just didn't have space. Like, that was the issue. I didn't have extra deck space. I didn't have main deck space for all the bricks. That just didn't work out for me. I also tried Mermail Pen. Mermail Pen's pretty insane. But still, I was kind of unsatisfied. I was like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough going second. It doesn't play through quite as much as I want to. It's just not strong enough. Too many bricks still. So eventually, I saw this video by Yasin where he made this Blue Eyes deck, and the Blue Eyes were like nothing, but I realized that this card right here, White Stone of Legend, is the best Hulk target in the game. Like, I'm serious. White Stone of Legend is the best Hulk target in the game, because it just searches you free Blue Eyes White Dragons. You search 3 times with this. 3 times. It just goes mad plus. And then they're not dead, because you just make Saryuja in the combo, put them back, and this also makes LP for you. That's what I realized. This makes LP and it gets you free searches. So this is actually the best Hulk target in the game. It's not even close. Right, so that's how we got to this deck. I just kept refining it until this is where we're at right now. This deck is just a monster. I won't be doing the combo tutorial because the video would get too long. I'm just going to go straight through this deck profile, very in-depth, explaining everything I'm playing, and then the next video I make will be the combo tutorial with this deck, just going really in-depth on what you do, because this is actually just the best deck in the game. So, first of all, just looking at the deck, it's like, what in the world are you playing? So you're playing Blue Eyes with Pendulums? You're playing Diva and Unizombie? And Rockets? What? It's like, what are you playing? Also, notice, you see him playing this on his profile too. You're playing all of the original anime cards from the main characters, and yeah, you are. And it's unironically the best deck in the game. Pretty fire. So, let's get into it. 1 White Stone, 2 Blue Eyes. Okay, you might be thinking, how are you going to search 3 times with White Stone? You only play 2 Blue Eyes. Well, here's the deal. You never want to draw Blue Eyes. Never. You only want to search it. What you do is you White Stone, search it, and then you bring back White Stone with Marcher, search it again. And then you Saryuja and put them back, and then the White Stone triggers again to search it. Now, you might be thinking, wait, no, White Stone doesn't trigger because you don't have targets. Actually, that's false, because White Stone's a mandatory effect. It's not optional, it's mandatory. It doesn't say you can, it says add a Blue Eyes. Which means that if you link this into Saryuja, it will trigger, even if there's no target. And then Saryuja can put back, give you a target, and then you can search it. It's not an ABC piece, this is a mandatory effect, so you will always search it. Basically, this means is these are 2 free draws of Saryuja. You just put these back to the bottom. And also, you get another one at the end, which isn't a brick, by the way, because Saryuja then summons it and then makes spheres. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is the key of the deck, is these 3 cards right here. This is how you Dragon Link combo. Again, we'll get into the combo, but basically what happens is you make Formula, and you add 3 Blue Eyes, and you Saryuja. and you get Dark Worm out with LP. That's what happens. It's ridiculous. Just one Hulk does that, by the way. One Hulk. It's actually really, really dumb how good this deck is. It's unfair. Next up, Dark Worm. This is going to be a long profile. It's going to be really in-depth. Dark Worm. Why do we play 3 Dark Worm if it's just an LP target, like I said? The reason you play Dark Worm is it's the best normal summon. It's the best non-tuner normal summon that's not like a turbo. And the reason for this is because it gets you a scale for free, which makes Alliance live. Alliance is actually kind of hard to use in this deck. And if you discard off Pen Call, obviously that's really overpowered. Why are you not playing Shrine or Foolish? Because that conflicts. That actually does conflict with this deck. Dark Worm itself, though, does not. Because you do have so many tuner extenders that what ends up happening is you're just going to need a normal summon something. It's like, okay, do I want to normal summon a Magician? Or do I want to just normal summon Dark Worm and get a free card out of it? If you do make Hawk with it, it goes to the extra deck. So then let's say they shut you down. Now you just pen some of this back out and then try to combo from there. So it has all these layers of effectiveness. And why this is my LP target instead of, say, Brotar or Safer to get Levianeer is just because bricks. I don't want to play a single brick that I don't need in this deck. This deck basically has no bricks. You got the Blue Eyes and this, and that's it. And that's too much, honestly. Like, 5 bricks is a lot of bricks. And Lamia kind of bad as well. 5 bricks is a lot. So you really don't want to draw any of them, and adding more bricks for more negates I found was just not a good idea. You'd rather just have this super streamlined deck that always goes off. And you think Dark Worm is bad, but no, it's just a normal summon if you draw it. It's actually good. Next up, 3 Alliance, 3 Pen Call. Basically, you always want Pen Call, and you're drawing so many times in this deck that you open 5, right? And then the combo draws another 5 cards. So you're drawing 10 cards easily, and you're kind of thinning your deck as you combo as well. So even in a 60 card deck, you have a decent chance of getting Pen Call. And even if you don't, if you get 2 Magicians, that's like the same thing. You're getting to this Pen Call, and because Dark Worm's LP target, you're always going to have a scale to use Alliance with, so it's actually just super free what you're able to do here. And this just gets you a ton of advantage. And also, it lets you pen summon. And also, if you just draw this, and then you get shut down by hand traps, or you're going second, this will let you sort of play, because your pen cards that go with the extra deck, you can summon them for free. This gives you more follow-ups, and it's just really strong in general. It sort of gives you something that Dragon Link doesn't have, where you're able to, after everything's said and done, pen summon and just flail on the opponent, where you don't need all extenders. You can afford to play a bunch of random cards and just summon them out pendulum-wise. That's just so ridiculous. That's what makes this deck so insane. And as for the Magician we're playing, 1 Harmo, 1 Celestial, 1 Double Iris, 1 Dragon Pulse, and also Time Gazer, but that's more for Chronograph. So I'll explain each one. Harmonizing is obvious. It makes Savage. This is an extra negate, and it's not like Brotar Levianeer. This isn't brick. If you draw this, you can still pen something. If you draw Brotar, it sucks. If you draw Levianeer, it's even worse. It's just a dead card in your hand, especially going second. Whereas with Harmo, you pen summon it, it's still plus. It does the same thing going first, going second, whether you combo or not. It always does something as long as you have scales. And even if you don't, this then itself is a scale. So it's always giving you some value, right? And it's also a pen call target. So this is just so much better to have Savage than to have Brotar Levianeer. Celestial. Celestial is insane. It's the next best one after Harmo. First of all, if you summon this, you get a search in the end phase, which is a Dragoon discard fodder, an extra scale for more follow-up, or just like a free monster like Chronograph. If they somehow clear your board, you get free summons from your hand to wall up. Really strong in that regard. Also, if this thing is a scale, then if they attack over Dragoon, which takes a lot of their resources, you can just revive it. Like, okay game. This thing's insane as a scale and as a monster. It's just an 8 scale. Perfect, level 4, perfect for making Savage. Just all the right things. All the things you want from a card, you get in Celestial. Double Iris. Why are we playing Double Iris with no Pendulum Graphs? It's just because you can search off Alliance. Dragon Pit might be better, but this is level 4, so you may Savage with it if you draw too many Magicians, which kind of comes up, If you draw Alliance and Pen Call, then you can Pen Call, discard a Blue Eyes, and then use Alliance and actually get something out of it. That's just kind of nice. It turns Alliance into a monster, basically, which is better than you think, honestly. If you have Pen Call Alliance, it makes Alliance a lot better. And there's just some sort of niche value you can get out of this. That's kind of nice, kind of nice. And then Dragon Pulse. Why Dragon Pulse over Purple Poison? Well, first of all, we're not playing Allure, so we don't need Darks. And second of all, we are playing Unexpected Die, and one target isn't enough. You might draw both. That's kind of bad. So just play Dragon Pulse. Poison is kind of better, but it's not so big of a difference that it's worth playing Poison, right? Pulse does the job just fine. It's a 1 scale, it's a normal monster, sure, it does all the right things. It even has a decent scale effect where you can pop a card, which may or may not come up, and it has 1800 attack, which isn't bad, so it's just this decent card. Now into the 6 most confusing cards in this deck. 3 Diva, 3 Unizombie. Why are we playing these? Well, here's the theory. If you're facing an opponent, you have Ash, Imperm, or Valor, and they normal summon Deep Sea Diva. What are you going to do? Are you going to let it resolve? No way, right? Even if they're playing 60 cards, if they normal summon Deep Sea Diva, what's your response? You have Ash. Are you going to hold your Ash and let them go Neptibus and get Moving Glacier on your face and discard the Ash? No, you're gonna negate it, right? So this always baits the negate. Just like the chance of this summoning Neptibus is way too much for the opponent. And even if they don't hand trap this, let's say they don't have a hand trap, it's a 1-card Hauki Fibrax, so you don't go wrong with this. It's either a better righty driver, because you don't need to play the lefty driver, think about it, or it baits Ash, and then you make Hauki even easier. Any extender, make Hauk. Now it's mostly safe, right? Unless they have another hand trap. But if they have 2 hand traps, then they have less cards on their turn to work with. So it's fine either way. It just always baits a hand trap. They won't hold it. And if they don't hand trap it, it's a free Hauki Fibrax. So it does everything you want it to do. This is the best normal summon in the deck. And then Unizombie is kind of the same, where they're not going to let you send Mizuki from deck to grave. They want to negate Unizombie, and then you're playing 60, so they actually have a better chance of thinking you're playing zombies than Diva and Mermail. Of course, they're still going to negate Diva, because it's just way too scary if Neptibus comes out. Mizuki is less scary than Neptibus, but at the same time, right, if they see Unizombie, they think, oh, you might actually be playing zombies, not Hauk Turbo. Where this is worse is if it doesn't get hand trapped, a Plague Spreader has to, use a card, so it's not as free as just straight up summoning Diva. But it's the same idea. These 6 cards are tuners that have to get hand trapped. So if you normal this and they hand trap it, any extender make Hauk. If they don't hand trap it, Hauk's probably safe either way. Going further, I tried playing Tour Guide before. I also tried playing Rescue Rabbit. What I realized was if those do get hand trapped, it's harder to make Hauk because they're not tuners. In the case of Rescue Rabbit, it was just like a disaster because then you don't even have a card on field. So these are the best normal summons. If you guys can think of a better normal summon to use here, please let me know. I just can't think of any. Yeah, so Plague Spreader is not for Hauk. Plague Spreader is just for Unizombie. Next up is our extenders. Alright, first up, 3 Unexpected Die, 1 Magical Libra. Why? It's so free. You use this, get this, and it's a pendulum, which just makes it all the better. Because then if you do make Hauk with this, it actually goes to the extra deck, so you can pen summon it later. Also, it's a 5 scale, which is fine in this deck, because you're mostly just pendulum summoning 4 to make Savage with. That's most of the value, and also just getting free monsters to make Access, Selene, whatever. This card works out really well. It's a Spellcaster to make Selene with. It's a tuner to make Hauk with. It's a level 4 you can pen summon. It's a 5 scale you can pendulum summon using, and it's a turbo. So this is really the best one. I was playing Halo before when I was trying to play Tour Guide. It's also better with Allure, but this is better if you're not playing any of that. It's just stronger. And also, it works better with Diva, because if they see Magical Libra and Diva, they think it's Mermaids, because Magical Libra can make Shark into Dragoons, and then make Toad. So, Magical Libra has Mermail synergy, which then makes them even more likely to negate Diva, which is perfect. 3 Quick Launch, 1 Tracer, 1 Silver Rocket. So, it's kind of weird, but my reasoning here is that Quick Launch is just one of the best extenders in the game, bar none. It's a spell that lets you special summon a tuner from your deck for free. I just can't let that go. And the reason for playing Silver Rocket instead of 2 Tracer is that sometimes it comes up where you have Quick Launch at the end of your combo, and you can use it, summon Tracer effect, kill a Scale or something, summon Silver Rocket, and then that lets you make Savage very, very efficiently. You get to keep a lot of cards in hand. So there is that application for Silver Rocket, and also if you draw Tracer or Quick Launch, you can summon Silver Rocket and normal Tracer, and that does make Hulk, technically. And 1 Tracer just isn't enough in case you draw too many. Even though you're making Saryusha, if you just draw them initially and then you get hand trapped, you're kind of screwed. Next up, 3 Contract and a Lamia. Again, this is really just to make Hulk. The reason we're playing this over some other potential engine is just because you can discard this off Pen Call and then use the effect, so that's kind of nice. Also, it sort of just works, makes them think you're playing Pendulum. It does what you need it to do. And usually you're just using this, adding Lamia, and then immediately summoning Lamia from hand. I know that's kind of a waste of card advantage, but once you get Hulk off, especially in tomorrow's combo tutorial, you'll see it actually just does not matter at all what your card advantage is at. You make Hulk, it resolves, you win. So this is just a nice extender. I like it. I'm not playing Kepler because Diva and Unizombie are better. They bait hand traps. E-Telly. E-Telly is insane because what it does is it just summons Ogre, so it's a free extender. And then, if you have this at the end of the combo, you can actually set it, and then on the opponent's turn, it's a free Ogre, which is a negate. So that's kind of cute as well. 310 Adhara. Okay, why are we not playing Shrine? Basically, it's because it conflicts with Adhara and Unexpected Die. So it's like, why are we playing both of these, though? It's because you can summon Adhara when you have Magical Libra. That doesn't conflict at all. You can summon Adhara when you have a normal monster. So these 6, you can always play them in tandem with each other, right? This and this just works. Whereas if you have Shrine, it just conflicts. And it's also not a tuner, so as a turbo, it's not doing what you need it to do, honestly. It works out, you get plus, but you're summoning Darkworm in the LP stage anyways if your combo does resolve. And then lastly, our non-tuner turbo cards, Chronograph, Time Gazer. The reason is, 1, so Pen Call is easier to resolve. Same thing with Harmonizing, just having more Magicians. Second of all, it actually gets you cards in your extra deck, so your Pen Summon is more beefy. Thirdly, it's a decent surge for Celestial. Fourthly, when you have enough tuner extenders, you get to the point where having a non-tuner extender really is no different from another tuner extender because you're using 2 tuners all the time anyways. Most of the time when we're actually using a non-tuner is from Chronograph. So you want that 1 non-tuner extender, right? You want mostly tuner extenders. Chronograph does work out. It's also a scale, so that's nice. And it's like a scale, you can pen summon it and then get another card at the end to maybe put up more resources. It does its job just fine. And if you draw Chrono and Gazer, so be it. You can still use it technically, and also you just let it go because you'll probably have other cards. So if we count here our extenders, it's pretty wild. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 extenders. And you have to consider this on top of everything else we have. Like, you can pen summon before your Hulk, by the way. You can just go pen call Harmo into Hulk. That's fine. That's how broken Hulk combo is. Your board's not going to be as good. It's going to lose some. It's going to lose some follow-up. But you still have enough to win the game, usually. Even if you pen summon first. It's actually really strong. Just most of this is extenders. Like, this entire section, basically, you draw 2 of these, you win the game. Kind of. Like, this entire section, if you draw 2 of these, you win the game. So everything else in this deck is Dragoon Engine and then hand traps. So these are the hard bricks in this deck. You never want to draw any of them. But there's synergy here. Because if you do draw them, you just use Saryusha to put them back. You're only going to have 2 blue eyes to put back, so if you draw any one of these, that's a free put back. And if you draw 2 of them, you can still put them back, so Dragoon still works. Verte still summons Dragoon, and then you just have a blue eyes in your hand, which you can then discard off Pen Call. So there's really no dead cards in this deck, because after the Saryusha, and with your Pen Call discarding, you always have some way of using the cards in your hand, which is really incredible. Now, why am I playing 12 hand traps? Well, I can give 3 reasons why hand traps are the best options in these 12 slots. First of all, they're normal summonable tuners. This deck, if you have an extender and a hand trap, and your opponent doesn't stop your Hulk, or you're baited out somehow, their hand traps, you win the game. It's that simple. How going first instantly wins the game. It's really that simple. That's the first reason. You just normal summon them. Second reason, they go second well. Now, of course, there's better options for going second, right? You can play Dark Ruler, Mystic Mine, all that. But what's the problem with those? They don't do anything going first. They can't be used to make Hulk at all. They're kind of dead, honestly, if you're going first with them. And then, most importantly of all, they're extra negates as soon as you draw them in the main deck. Why does this matter? I don't want bricks. I don't want Brotar, I don't want Levineer. Those are bricks. They are not good to open. They're definitely not good to open going second. Terrible. Hand traps, on the other hand, they're normal summonable tuners if you go first with them. They can be used as hand traps if you go second with them, or still as tuners. You can do that too. If you draw these in your draw combo, because remember, this is a draw combo deck. These are free negates in your hand that you can use at any time that are unsusceptible to draw play, Dark Ruler. That is so powerful. They can't be evenly matched. They can't be sphere moded. These are free negates that you get from your draw combo, and you're playing 12 of them. So you're going to draw hand traps, most likely, and you're going to keep your hand traps as free negates. It's so powerful when you think about it in that way. These are negates. And you might be asking, okay, why am I not playing Apollo? Why am I not playing Masquerada? Why am I not playing Dagda Scythe? I just want negates. Because I don't have extra deck space. I don't have extra deck space. I don't have main deck space. I need these hand traps. I have enough bricks in my main deck, but my extra deck's just full. So I need more negates. Because the board with this deck is you're making Spheres, Savage, Dragoon. That's not a good enough board. That is breakable game 1. Game 2, you have Sloth for your Spheres. That's still not good enough. You need more negates. It sounds weird, but as strong as this deck's going first combo is, you draw all these cards, you don't have enough negates. You have this insane follow-up. But if you get OTK'd, that doesn't matter. You need more negates in this deck. I know it's weird, but you need more. So that's what hand traps are for. It makes it so your board is actually unbreakable, and the next turn you always win. So if your how combo resolves, you need to guaranteed win the game. Otherwise, why play all these bricks? Why not just play Dragon Link, where you have all these extenders, you play hand traps, and whatever? Why play this deck? It's because if your combo goes off, you always win the game. It's like Infernoble in that way. But it's better than Infernoble because it's way more resilient than Gokis. It has the resiliency of Dragon Links and Pendulums. It has the going second prowess by playing all these hand traps, by playing all these extenders that let you go through. But then, most importantly of all, it has that power behind it. The hand traps give you that power, where if your board succeeds, you will win the game. That's so important. I can't stress this enough. You need to play hand traps in this deck. And then, just a bit deeper, playing Valor, because it's a Selene target. You can summon that and then make access code and win the game. So you go Hulk, Selene access. Very nice. Ogre is also an E-Tally target. And then also, you're playing Valors and Mourner in your main deck, and they're siding Imperm and Nibiru. So the plan is, if you're facing heavy combo, what you want is you want either Valor, Mourner, or Imperm with a Nibiru. So whatever they use to negate Nibiru, you negate that, and then you use Nibiru to just kill them. You get this Nibiru off, and you want them to use as much of their extra deck as possible before you do this. So then they're completely crippled. They can't follow up because they've already used everything, and on your turn, when you do your thing, they won't be able to break your board because they've used way too many resources already. That's the goal. That's also part of why we're playing Mourner. It's also just really good because it is an effective hand trap. It will hit Isolde, it will hit Hulk, it will hit all these important cards, and it's also a tuner, so it's just better than Imperm in that regard. On like back row space, kind of. Alright. Now let's move on to the extra deck. So that was an in-depth explanation of the main deck. 12 hand traps, bunch of pendulum cards, 16 turbo extender, whatever you want to call them, 6 guaranteed negate normal summon tuners. This is just an optimized deck. It's actually so broken. Let's move on to the extra deck. This is why we need hand traps, by the way. These 8 cards are all for combo. These 8 cards, their sole purpose is to draw. Their sole purpose is to let you start your turn with a Staryuja up and 10 cards in your hand. That's what happens. If you have Diva and you go Hulk and they don't stop you, you will have a Staryuja with 10 cards in hand. That's why this deck is so insane, but that's also why you need hand traps. 8 extra deck slots, over half your extra deck, is dedicated to doing this massive draw combo, which should just win you the game because you have way too many cards for the opponent to possibly deal with. But then the problem is you also need these 3 for going second. So you have 4 cards left for negates. So my 4 cards are Heavenly Spheres, Savage, Verte, Dragoon. Heavenly Spheres is broken because you can bounce their normal summon. That's just ridiculous. And it's so free because you just go start usually summon Blue Eyes and that actually makes something. What do you know? That makes a good negate. Next up, Savage. You make this with Harmonizing. Or maybe Rocket Tracer. It's that simple. That's what Armor's for. You make Savage with it. And it's plus. And then Verte Dragoon. You're going to have discard far for Dragoon. That's obvious because you're drawing so many cards. You're going to have hand traps and discard fodder separately. That's how many cards you draw with this deck. And Vertes are so good, in 60 especially, because you're not drawing your Dragoon pieces that often. And many times, if you do get hand trapped, you can still Verte. And then even going second, a lot of the time you will be able to Verte after baiting through all their negates with your extenders, with your Hulk, with your Link Cross, with your Celine, with your access code even. You use your hand traps to have them make less negates. With your Pensum, use everything bait on negates, and then you go Verte Dragoon, Dragoon pop 2, deal a ton of burn damage, and then all of a sudden you have this negate up and the game's in your favor. Dragoon is mandatory in this deck, because these don't brick, because you have Saryuja, you always put them back. But you see, you only have 4 cards in your extra deck dedicated to actually putting up a board. That's why you need hand traps. They're not even for going second, they're for going first. It's kind of dumb, but it's true. And then your last 3 cards are Hulk, Celine, and Access Code. This is for going second. And kind of for fall. If you get hand trapped down, Hulk, second Hulk will carry you through. It's actually nice. It's so nice. Celine. Well, we're only playing 1 Celine. Why? It's Pendulums. Well, we're not playing that many spellcasters. We're not playing Demion. We're not playing any of that. We're not actually going to be able to get that much value. We're not even playing Demion, as you can see. What Celine is for is, first of all, free access code. You go Hulk, Valor, Celine access. That's just way too strong to give up in a Pendulum deck, where you do have scales given this counters. And just as importantly, follow up. If they kill your Dragoon, you go Celine, revive Dragoon. And then they already put all this effort into killing the Dragoon, right? And now it's just back. So they're basically done once you do that. That's incredibly powerful. Celine, revive Dragoon for free, and then make access code and win. I mean, that's just dumb. And then you need access code. Celine also makes access code better. It gets more attacks, so you can beat over Dragoon with it. More importantly, like this just wins you games at the end, where you use your whole graveyard full of Link monsters, pop their field, 5,000 attack. This just cleans up games. Very mandatory. I was gonna play Mask before, or like Link Revo, Link Spider, in case you get Nibiru'd. You can still make Verte. I decided against all that. I decided second Hulk was better. That's what you do. Is you have hand traps, right? So if you get hand trapped down, you stall with hand traps, right? And then your turn, you make second Hulk, and that's just better, honestly. Honestly. That's the extra deck. Very simple. 8-card draw combo. Ridiculous. 4 negate cards. Should win the game. And then 3 follow-up / going second cards. Very powerful. Side deck. We already went over this. Yeah, you want to be able to shut down combo. And then this is also for combo. Just ton of anti-combo. Mystic Mind is the best card. I mean, actually, it's kind of a problem if you're facing light combo, where you can't even use this because you're just gonna lock yourself out. This card is actually a huge problem in this deck. You don't have good outs to it. Honestly, I don't think Mystic Mind's optimal. You have a draw combo deck. If you resolve draw combo, you win. It doesn't matter if you draw Dark Ruler. Like, it doesn't matter if you draw Dark Ruler too late. That's not gonna happen, right? If you can get off draw combo, you already won the game. So, yeah, it only matters if you open it. Damn, you can't play Mystic Mind. Just thought of that. Kind of annoying, but yeah, this is the best deck still. Side deck depends on the format anyway, so like don't think about it too much. It's about the main deck. Pancratops. Yeah, this card's just nice. I mean, it clears negates. It's good against backrow decks. This is a free side, which is a good thing here, where you can blindside this. They're never going to let you go first. So this actually works out, because if you don't know what you're facing, it's really safe. 1 Duster, 1 Reboot. That's it for backrow decks. They're just so powerful that you have to play them, kind of. If you draw as good backrow, you just win. And yeah, you don't have a lot for backrow decks, but that's just how it is. You're playing 60. Your side deck has to be very dedicated. You can't be going both ways, or it's just kind of screwed. But again, these 2 cards are just such blowouts that against backrow, if you're not playing these, you're doing something wrong. And they're even good against combo, which is the thing, because Duster hits the Buster Lock, and then Reboot can hit some dumb cards they have, so it works out. And then 1 Drying Pit, 1 Sloth. Drying Pit's gone for going first, actually. Weird as that sounds. If they sign Mystic Mine, they sign Wild Mystic Mine. That's very nice. And then Sloth, game 2 and 3, they have Sphere Mode, and they tribute over your spheres. You want to have something. Right? Because in your main deck, you don't have anything to summon. You don't have space. It's too bricky. But if you know you're going first, you can afford to play Sloth. And it beats Sphere Mode. I think that's good enough. Honestly, just beating Sphere Mode. That's all this is for. Yeah, kind of weird. It's also a scale. Not that bad. You can pen summon this. Not that bad. It actually works. Where is that? You can normal summon this, actually. It's that dumb. This deck's that dumb. You don't need normal summon. You have all extenders. So I'm actually getting tired because I've been talking a lot. In case you couldn't tell, I've been just talking at you. You guys made it all the way to the end. Congrats. You have just understood the best deck in the entire game. It's not even close. This deck's so good. I'll show you some combos and gameplay tomorrow. Or next video, whatever that is. Probably not tomorrow. That's gonna be all for today, guys. Take care of y'all. Goodbye.